Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, taxi driver killed before getting chance to reunite with her son. Well-known taxi driver Richard Nemard was yesterday looking forward to reuniting with his son from overseas, who he had not seen in about 3 years, but was robbed of the opportunity after gunmen shot and killed him in his car. The father of 3 had planned to pick up his son from the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston on Emancipation Day. The 56-year-old transport vehicle operator who plied the Whitehall Avenue route was shot multiple times near the intersection of Manninghill Road and the Cassava Peace in Kingston. An official release from the Constabulary Communication Unit stated that the shooting occurred at 4:40 a.m. and that Nemard was rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Onlookers near the scene said he was shot while driving and lost the control of his car and crashed into another vehicle that was parked at the Midway Mall Plaza before slamming into the entrance door of a fast food premises. When the news visited the scene, a fallen stop sign and a boarded-up section of the fast food premises were evidence of the deadly attack. The victim's spouse, Sharon Alexander, who was obviously distraught, said that she was home when she got the terrible news. "Me hear a car blow first, then me say, wait, how the car there make so much noise outside? So me no pay no mind because nobody now call me. So me go lay down back. Then me see my phone ring and Bungie say, Sharon, you hear what happened? Him say, them just shoot Richie at Manninghill Road. And me say, what? And sit down. Then me hear a next guy come and say, Sharon, them just shoot up Richie at Manninghill Road and him dead, she recalled as she sat outside her home. The woman who lived next door to her partner and the father of her son said that she immediately grabbed her granddaughter and ran to the scene, where she saw Nemard slumped over his car with injuries to his chest. She said it wasn't Nemard's usual practice to start his day by 4 a.m. According to Alexander, he was excited about seeing his son and had spent Wednesday afternoon cleaning his car in anticipation. He was there cleaning and shining down the car. At one point I asked him if he was going to rub off the color, she said. Alexander said that Nemard's son had also promised to take him to Dream Weekend and that he had agreed to go. A young man from the community who gave his name as Kevin was in tears as he spoke about Nemard, who he described as a father figure. He said that the taxi driver's murder has rocked the entire community and that all the youths in the area were saddened as Nemard was an elder they respected. He said that often when he did not have food to eat on a Sunday, it was Nemard who would come to his aid and bring him food. "Him is a good man. Them man if stiff out in them bed and we call ambulance," Kevin said as the tears trickled down his face. Joy Williams, who was also reduced to tears when she heard the sad news about her childhood friend, said that she last saw him on Wednesday wiping down his car and had observed a black shadow over him, but did not think too much of it at the time. "I'm only sorry so me never cancel it," she said. In the meantime, Williams said she was hoping that his killers would be found and brought to justice. "People don't talk about their problems anymore. What kind of satisfaction you get from killing?" she asked. None of them, however, knew of any reason Nemard would have been targeted. The incident is being investigated by the Constant Spring Police, who yesterday theorized that it might be a reprisal killing for another person who was killed a day before in the Whitehall Avenue community. French man on cocaine charges instructed to get a lawyer. A Frenchman who is accused of swallowing 110 pellets of cocaine, which he had planned to smuggle out of Jamaica, made his first appearance in the St. James Parish Court last Friday and was instructed to retain the services of a lawyer for his next court appearance on October 11. Cedric Mahudu, who is charged with possession of, dealing in, and attempting to export 2 pounds and 7.4 ounces of cocaine, was remanded after requesting the services of an attorney. He made the request to presiding Judge Keisha Grant Price through an interpreter as he speaks very little English. He would like to be able to have an attorney, as he says that he has to go to school in September and his partner is alone with their child. He would like to get an attorney and have the matter put off for another day, the interpreter, who spoke to the court via phone, told the court. What he is saying is that he wants a lawyer and to be able to make a contact with his family to arrange a payment for the lawyer and for the matter to be called up on a different day, explained the interpreter. During the hearing, the prosecution revealed that the forensic certificate, which is to verify the exact weight of the cocaine, which was allegedly seized from Mahudo, was outstanding from its case file and that it would not be ready until September 18. Grant Price subsequently set the case for mention on October 11 and remanded Mahudo until that date. An order was made for his fingerprints to be taken. The investigating officer was also bound over to complete the file. According to the allegations, on July 18, about 3:45 p.m., Mahudo was at the Sanctuary International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James, preparing to board a flight to Brussels, Belgium, when he was stopped at the security checkpoint and interviewed by airport personnel. His suitcase was searched and the 23 parcels of a white substance, later identified as cocaine, weighing 7.4 ounces, were found. Mahudo was subsequently taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he excreted 110 pellets with a white substance identified as cocaine between July 18 and 22. The pellets weighed approximately 2 pounds. When cautioned by the police, Mahudo reportedly said that a man who drove a grey Honda motor vehicle had given him the contraband and paid him 7,000 euros. He was subsequently arrested and charged. Mahudo's case is the most recent of several cocaine-related matters involving foreign nationals that have been brought before the St. James Parish Court in recent months. Other recent cases include that of Sienese Clark Johnson, a British woman who was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment on June 26 for trying to smuggle $7.6 million worth of cocaine out of Jamaica inside a number of craft items on February 26, and Fina Renamo, another British national, who was sentenced on July 17 to pay a fine of $400,000 or to spend 6 months in prison for trying to smuggle $7.5 million worth of cocaine inside the craft items on June 16. Additionally, 44-year-old Dutch national Patrick Crawford pleaded guilty on July 25 in relation to reports that he tried to smuggle 9 pounds of cocaine valued at $28.3 million and hidden in false compartments in his suitcase onto an ongoing flight to Brussels on May 9. He will be sentenced on September 11. Tardy government MP not allowed to read Prime Minister's message accuses organizers of politicizing civic event. There was a pandemonium at Wednesday night's Emancipation Vigil held at the Norman Square in Savannah Lamar following allegations that an angry member of Parliament for Westmoreland Western, Moreland Wilson, disconnected the sound system in the middle of the program. Video footage seen by the news showed Wilson seemingly touching the sound system before cops led him away from a boisterous crowd. Wilson, Councillor Donnet Foster of the Jamaica Labour Party Cornwall Mountain Division, and their supporters were upset that the MP was not allowed to read the Prime Minister's message during the civic event organized by the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission in collaboration with the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation. Organizers objected on the basis that Wilson had arrived late while the Governor General's message was being read, and the protocol dictates that the Governor General's message is the last delivered. According to a news source who was at the event, Wilson began unplugging the microphone of the performer, who was George Noakes at the time, after his request to read the Prime Minister's message was refused by JCDC Parish Manager Coretta Spence and the Master of Ceremony for the event. The MC was a Vice Chairman of JCDC's Westmoreland Cultural Committee, Councillor Michael Jackson of the People's National Party, White House Division. The source said after the microphone was repeatedly disconnected, an annoyed Noakes and his team left the event. Things then became even more heated. The crowd started advancing on Wilson, but by this time, the police were on site to prevent the situation from getting worse, said the news source, who added that Councillor Foster was hurling expletives at the people and accusing them of hitting Wilson. The vigil is among a slate of activities organized by the PNP-controlled WMC as part of Jamaica's emancipation and the independence celebrations. It was supposed to end at midnight, but because of the dust-up, it ended about 45 minutes early. Wilson left the scene about 20 minutes after Nooks departed, when most of the crowd had left, explained the source, who said the police thought it safer for the MP to choose that moment to leave. On Thursday, a defiant Wilson told the news that what got him angry was the way the situation was handled. He admitted that he arrived late, but said he was given the impression that he would be accommodated. I was told that as soon as the Governor General's message is read, I would be allowed to read the Prime Minister's message, the MP explained. He said when he realized that the official program was coming to a close, without him taking the podium, he sought answers. According to Wilson, Spence and Jackson both attributed the decision to each other. So I brought both parties together, and at that point they said to me that they don't want the Prime Minister's message to be read because it's a breach of protocol, and the Governor General's message was read prior. I then said to them, but I have been sitting here, I arrived and I waited, and you guys told me that that's how it is going to proceed, and now you're telling me something else. I want the Prime Minister's message to be read, said Wilson. At that time, persons who were there stood up with me, and they started to make an uproar because they too wanted the Prime Minister's message to be read. People saw it as an injustice. We stand up for our right for the Prime Minister's message to be read in these public civic forums. And at that point, persons started to unplug the speaker boxes while there was an artist performing, he added. In Wilson's view, the JCDC handled the issue poorly. I am very disappointed in how the JCDC acted. I am very disappointed in the politicization of the event and, of course, the narrative that's been carried by the opposition and all the innuendos and suggestions that are being made, because all they wanted to do was to make the civic ceremony a political event. And this is behind the optics of people screaming, "Time come and get rid of the government and we want change," he added. Time come is the PNP's campaign slogan. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.